I say, boys and girls, except that it looks like we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Mining Market Signal. It's your boy, returning champion and still preferred crypto commentator. That's right, Vosk. But you guys are here, so we can talk also. It's okay. Thanks for showing up. Really appreciate that. Guys, as always, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Be sure to, smash that like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe, make it blow up. And, sharing is caring. Appreciate you being here live. This is a live show. The top chat isn't all I look at. I'm going to look at all the chat as it comes in. So if you have questions, do ask those questions. That's half the fun, is that we have a live Q&A, and we're really here to support each other. So if I can't answer questions in the chat, you know what? Two heads are better than one, and 40 plus, like 50 heads, are better than two. So you can help answer that question too, right? You can be the change you want to see in the world. You can be the mentor you wish you had when you got started, because I'm sure you can imagine, right? When you got started, if somebody knew as much as you do now came along and helped you out, how much farther ahead would you be, right? So that's what we're hoping we get in the chat. Definitely appreciate it, guys. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, so I changed that intro animation so we didn't have so much distracting music and got a little explosion there. We also have improved our audio with Potato Cam, right? Potato Cam has made it over to Potato Audio. So occasionally, if we need to, we can class things up a bit with Potato Cam and Potato Vision. But I digress. Let's get into the Fear and Greed Index. And as you can see, your chat is live on the screen. Please keep it PG if you can. PG-13, right at most. That means PG-13, it isn't what it used to be, but that means we only use the F word once on this show in written form. So let's try to keep it clean. But the Fear and Greed Index is currently at a score of 70, down from yesterday, right? Yesterday's still 70, but down from the day before and down from the weekend where we saw a score of 75, 76-ish. It pretty much got crazy, right? Pretty much got crazy. Over the weekend, people basically losing their minds over the price of Bitcoin. And you know what, as I like to say, without giving legal, financial, or business advice, I use this as a counter indicator for myself. When people are overly greedy, I start to get a little bit fearful. And when people are overly fearful, I start to feel very confident and maybe a little greedy in my buying patterns, in my mining patterns, in my trading patterns, in my investing patterns, whatever it is that I'm doing within the cryptocurrency ecosystem. I become emboldened when I see that other people are genuinely fearful, right? When they're saying things like, oh, I don't know, man, my crypto is never going to return to its value. My bag lost like 80% of what it was worth. Sounds messed up, but I view that as exactly the opposite. Like, you're right, it's go time, right? Like I've been so conditioned that when I'm rolling up to a red light, I almost hit the gas pedal because I'm like, it's go time. I see red. Like that's the sign for action. But I view this as a counter indicator, guys. Here, we see the trend has been over the last, several weeks. We went from extreme fear all the way up into extreme greed. It's kind of crazy to see people whip that fast, right, towards extreme greed. And that had me concerned. Gallo brings up a great point in the comment section and says, I agree, except when I'm degen farming. That's true. Yield farming is one of those things where you got to be like ahead of the curve. Really, TikTok kind of is your friend with some of these things. But you didn't hear it from me, right? Just saying. The Deadwood is saying, so when folks ask about crypto but don't allow you to explain without interruption of conspiracy counters to crypto for fiat, what do you do? I tell them research for themselves and walk away. Yep, it's true. There's only so much you can do, right? People have to save themselves with knowledge. We can just, bring it to them if they're open to it. That's why talking to your friends and family is so important, because you're within their sphere of influence. So they'll actually listen to you, maybe. Right? I mean, let's be real. It's also friends and family, right? They have, what kind of stuff have they listened to us about in the past, right? So it could be that the door is just not open there, right? And if the door's not open, don't force it, right? We don't have to worry about everybody. We can't save everybody, unfortunately. It's a sad truth, but we can try, right? So keep inviting, keep on seeing if they're willing to learn more. But yeah, the Fear and Greed Index indicates that we're starting to see a bit of a correction in the sentiment anyway. But let's talk about some of the news items that would be an indication of why we are currently experiencing what we're experiencing. I'm gonna roll a little track here, guys, while I do this. Okay, I don't always do that, but there we go. Coffee is having iced almond milk latte triple with 2 Splenda. Reporting for you. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you guys checking in. All right, so our segue music is no longer needed. We're going to go ahead and fade down Golden Boy and Miss Kitten. That's old school remix. So that kind of like faded the background entirely. Guys, I am super excited to talk to you about some of the news articles for tonight. They are handpicked because of, I mean, you know, we like to look at the macro view, right? Scale way out, zoom way out, to pay attention to stuff that maybe other people aren't paying attention to, because like we mine because we're paying attention to things that other people aren't paying attention to, right? So if we pay attention to some of the news items and some of the other goings on in the broader cryptosphere and world news stage that other people can't see, then it gives us that much more of an advantage, right? Of course, obviously, you guys are here for that reason. Of course you think that. All right. So the Deadwood is having black coffee. It says, okay, now I have to make a cup. Dang. Coffee hound, man. Day and night. Well, I don't know what time it is out where the Deadwood is, so maybe not. But guys, we're taking a look at miningpoolstats.stream. You're no stranger to this site. It's a great resource. And I am using some kind of like, I think it's just uBlock Origin that's pretty effectively blocking some of the ads up here in the top navigation bar. Here's a little life hack. We do this every now and then, right? We're going to go to right click, uBlock Origin, block element, and I'm going to go and create a blocker for that entire header bar. And now the underlying element, there we go. And we're getting into the CSS right there. See the container, see container-fluid.content. When we create that, it should, see that? Chops the forehead right off of this web page. So we've got more information above the fold while we're live streaming. So if you live stream as well, maybe this is helpful to you, or if you just, you know, whatever, you hate seeing ads or dead space on your websites. The web is what you make of it. Literally, you can edit the front end. So taking a look at Ethereum right now, this is part of why I'm excited about talking about Ethereum. We know that the landscape is changing. Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to get here relatively soon. They say, right? They say it's been pushed back until sometime in 2022. They keep on saying like it's definitely coming really, really fast, but it's been pushed back farther into 2022. Yet in the meantime, we know it has to be secured through proof of work. Here we are on miningpoolstats.stream, and lo and behold, Bpool right there, shutting down October 15th, T-minus, 36 hours-ish, maybe? We don't even have a full 48 hours, I don't think, before this happens. I don't think it's the end of October 15th. I think that because of the time zone difference, we will perceive this to happen sometime in the next 36 hours or so. So, yeah, that's imminent. It's happening. 37 terahashes need to move from this pool to somewhere else. Those who are mining on PPS Plus may want to go to F2 pool. Those who are okay with PPLNS may want to go to Ethermine. Those who want faster payouts might want to be paid out on Polygon, Matic. So they might want to go to Ethermine for that reason. There may be people who are attracted to the 0% fees or promised 0% fees of other pools that should be on the list, such as Hivon. That's very interesting. Am I missing something? Guys, did Hivon disappear here? I must be going crazy. I don't see Hivon on this list. And it's, yeah, gosh darn it. Wow. Okay, I'm going to refresh the page. What did I just miss here? I could have swore that I saw Hivon here earlier on today. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it's not listed from this view. Maybe it's a question of just not being available from this view. Let's go over to Ethereum Classic to see if Hivon's ETC pool is there. Maybe. No. Interesting. No, not there either. So Bpool does have an ETC presence as well, but it's maybe not quite as large, the hash rate over there. So, but they are shutting down. Nuts. Anyway, guys, I'm not here actually to promote like Hivon or whatever. You can see the HiveOS, the original HiveOS training tutorial videos that were written by the HiveOS team and produced by yours truly, 3 years ago, in the playlist that's over on the channel. If you'd like, it's a good primer. There's other stuff that's more in depth from a lot of other creators who've made some really great value-added content, but those were actually written by the HiveOS team, so, you know, I'm partial to them. Interesting that it's missing. Moving on. Polygon network is slated to flip Ethereum in total network transactions before this year is over. That's huge. You guys have been hearing me talk about getting payouts on Ethermine with the decreased fees and the lower thresholds and the faster speeds. on Polygon now for a while. At first I was reluctant. Rather, at first I thought, okay, cool, low fees. Then I was reluctant because I tried to bridge from Polygon over to Ethereum, and I wasn't used to the speed of bridging. It's actually quite slow. It takes a bit of time to bridge from Polygon back over to Ethereum. And then you have to pay a fee on the Ethereum side anyway. So depending on the fees on Ethereum at a given time, it could still be kind of painful, right? Getting back over to the L1 chain. And then I kind of flipped back like, I don't mind this. I found QuickSwap, for example, and now I've done for some of the client work that I do. I'm a contributor to the QuickSwap team. You may hear like my voice doing voiceover or like tutorial material for them, and that's given me such great exposure to how good their project is and some of the stuff they have there. So I'm kind of like becoming this like not a Polygon maximalist. That sounds insane, but for me, my experience of Ethereum is predominantly on side chains like Polygon. So I'm not really interacting with layer one as much as I used to. And it doesn't shock me when I see headlines like this now. And in fact, it kind of encourages me because I'm getting more familiar with how the ecosystem actually works. So yeah, they call it a layer two here. That's not exactly appropriate. I know there's going to be somebody who comes along and just like reminds you it's not really a true layer two. It's actually a side chain. Fine. It's a side chain, whatever. It's a side chain, but the point is it's scaling, right? It scales. Certainly it's no slower than Binance Smart Chain, which, people say like, oh, it's centralized. It's owned by Binance. It's only a few people out in China that run it, or who stake it, right? Because they have enough to be able to make that 21 validator quorum run. Fine, whatever. That's Binance Smart Chain. Polygon, I really do feel like it's kind of a different beast. It's been accused of being a little bit centralized as well. I don't think that those allegations hold up as well as they do against Binance Smart Chain. And I think that because they've made efforts to decentralize with a DAO structure on Polygon, and they have the Polygon Hermes relationship to work on ZK rollups and integrate that into their roadmap, and because they also do have the Plasma chain, they've just got a lot more development, and they've got a much bigger head start than Avalanche and a much bigger head start than any of the other would-be scaling solutions that are EVM compatible, even as side chains. So Polygon it's taking on a lot. It's supported by OpenSea. It's supported now by Coinbase, right, natively, if that means anything to you. But if you wanted to trade material or coins on Coinbase and transfer off of platform with really low fees, you could do that by transferring natively on the Polygon network now, because it's supported by Coinbase. That's not the case for all of these other EVM chains or all of these other smart contract platforms. So when we get to the portfolio and I'm like, I don't know why the price is so low still, that's genuine confusion on my part. I really don't know why the price is still so low. I'm not complaining. And I don't need the price to go up, right? I'm not like some Polygon whale or anything. It's just confusing to me because it's so useful. So anyway, seeing that they say it's climbing the rankings. I don't know in what substantive way it's climbing the rankings by way of market cap or price, other than it's utilization, right? By the end of this year, if they stay on track with the number of transactions that they take away from Ethereum to help decongest the Ethereum network, Polygon actually will have more total transactions, like from start to finish, like from its Genesis block until now, it'll have more total transactions than Ethereum has since its Genesis block till now. Not since the DAO hack, not since the fork, but forever. So Polygon has done a lot in a very short amount of time. That's a bit of the news there, guys. I don't know that that's actually affecting sentiment and bringing people's fear, back into the equation. It's just kind of an interesting thing to be aware of there. Let's see. We got a question coming in from Richie DK asking, are ASIC away AW Pro Miner real or fake? I don't even know that one. I'm sorry. I wish that I did know that one. Maybe I can look it up live on tonight's show and give you a hot take. How about that? If you can let me know, just spell it out by, instead of putting a dot and com or whatever, or, the full address, just spell it out in a way that a bot won't shut down, because otherwise it won't post. But yeah, I'll give you my honest opinion on a gut level response, hot take. Just throw it in the chat. But guys, I don't think that Polygon succeeding in potentially flipping Ethereum in total transaction volume, I don't think that's affecting the markets per se. It's an interesting bit of news. Dogecoin. ZY Crypto is talking about how Dogecoin is on the verge of losing its spot to Shiba Inu in the stacked rankings, right? In the market cap rankings. And this for me is just a massive lull, right? It's like, okay, a meme coin that didn't deserve to be in the top 10 is going to be displaced by another meme coin that doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. Oh no, these are bull run things, guys. These are bull market things that happen when people are so incredibly, what's the word? When people have such incredibly liquid wealth to throw around that they throw good money after bad, right? Or it's like dumb investing or aping in, right? TikTok investing. These are just the symptoms of a market that's so flush with cash that, of course, some of the money has to go somewhere, right? Some of the value has to go somewhere that's kind of dumb, right? Like, I'm being really, really blunt right now, but that's my take on it, guys. Shiba Inu, maybe it goes higher, but 10x higher? You've heard my skepticism about that. I'd be so shocked if it did more, if it did a 10x. But beyond that, nah. 5x? Who knows? Maybe this market is irrational enough to see a coin like Shiba Inu do another 5x. So I won't say no, right? I mean, that's still 500% profits. You're not going to get that in real estate. You're not going to get that in commodities. You're not going to get that anywhere in traditional investing for the most part. You're not going to get 500% in a month, right? Or 2 months. That's unheard of, right? It's insanity. But here, we feel like, nah, it's crypto. I'm entitled to a 500% return in a month, right? Like we're way spoiled. So whatever. Just saying, maybe it does have that much mileage left in it before it starts to retrace and correct whatever. And the air is let out of its tires and the top 10 goes back to projects with strong fundamentals. Who knows? But I just think it's really hilarious that somebody actually thought it was important enough, or the outlet thought it was important enough to run this article, or to tell Adrian, the author of this article, like, we got to run this article. It's important. People need to know that people need to be aware that Dogecoin is being displaced. Like, okay, sure. I get it. Big Crypto Dave brings a refreshing dose of reality into the chat. And he says, I don't think it's an issue of people being flush, more like desperation to not be poor. Brother, I hear you there. I hear you there. We do not want to see another, like a repeat of the Great Depression, right? Here we are, like almost 100 years later. We do not want to see this in our lifetime. And there's real fear. Like there's very, very real fear of seeing austerity and seeing intense financial pressure to that level. So I hear you there too. I don't mean to make light of people who right now are looking for anything that could be a Hail Mary out of their current situation. So I was pretty harsh before, but the point still kind of stands though. Like there's a lot of very rushed decision making that in some cases is just way too low information. Maybe that's a more charitable way of framing it. But yeah, so Dogecoin being maybe displaced by Shiba, I don't know. Could Shiba prove catastrophic? I don't know what I would call it. Catastrophic, right? Like, yeah, some goblin loser. I don't know. The Great Depression 2, Electric Boogaloo, bro. That is a t-shirt right there. At least an NFT series, right? Yeah, I think we got to do this at some point. So yeah, I don't know that it's going to be catastrophic to Dogecoin. I don't know that Dogecoin deserves to be high in the rankings. I don't know that that matters. Moving on, some of the other news comes from Reese Witherspoon. And if you saw the thumbnail and you saw the title, right? I said, we're going to talk about Reese with her NFTs. Because, you know, the spoon gag is like that whole thing. It's getting old, right? Because it, you know, get it? Reese with her spoon, Reese without her spoon. She's getting NFTs now. That's the point. And she just said, I bought my first NFT. I'm learning so much. Would love to know about amazing women creating NFTs. Talk to me, crypto Twitter. She went out of her way. To tag crypto Twitter. Is this a top sign? Tell me in the comments section. Is Reese Witherspoon, who is currently addressing with the hashtags NFTs and crypto Twitter, is her entry publicly into the market a top signal? Or does it show that we're finally hitting the knee of the curve into a parabolic move. Are we going parabolic because of people like Reese Witherspoon? I'm not going to make a determination on that one. I need you guys to tell me what you think in the comments. Is this good? Is this bad? Is it net positive? In the end, will it serve to get retail investors wrecked by saying that celebrities are making kind of, low-key purchase decisions that are somewhat like urging others to participate? It's not solicitation per se in the strictest sense. She didn't say like, I'm buying this NFT and you should ape into what I'm doing. But it is kind of like still signaling to retail that maybe they should do it too, because their favorite early 2000s actress is now getting NFTs. Tell me in the comments. I need to know. So Golden Wolf says she still looks good to me. Here's the thing, man. She's a good looking lady. She takes care of herself, right? Like, let's see. Yeah, right? That's the moneymaker. This lady's an actress. Of course. Takes care of herself. Yeah, right? Like, of course. She's gonna look great into late age, of course. Here's the other little bit of news that I wanted to cover right now. And this is a little bit more harsh. I don't normally go this route, but it just kind of seemed important to shine some light on it, right, guys? Sunlight is indeed the best disinfectant, and I saw something from Nassim Taleb that was a bit of an issue. Just a little bit of an issue. I do not like when I see people who have a large platform, either in the tech space or in the especially in the InfoSec space, who are getting it wrong about certain world events or whatever else. But it especially bothers me when people who have a big hold on money Twitter, investing Twitter, or business Twitter, when they go out of their way to try to dunk on cryptocurrencies or on privacy, right? And this Nassim is just like, he's batting 1,000 these days, right? Becoming very anti-Bitcoin and apparently also becoming very anti-privacy, which I just don't understand. He went out of his way to try to, take a pot shot at Edward Snowden, who said Facebook-owned WhatsApp being down is a reminder that you and your friends should probably be using a more private, non-profit alternative like Signal app anyway, or another open source app of your choice. And for my part, I'll just say Session is better. He says it's just as free as, and then parenthetically as WhatsApp or Facebook, and takes like 30 seconds to switch. #Facebook down. And then Nassim Taleb, right? It's like, okay, this is a pretty uncontroversial statement, I think. This is somebody who's just stating their opinion and trying to urge people to try out privacy-oriented apps. And this guy comes out with an ad hominem attack, right? Swinging haymakers. Like, okay, well, Edward Snowden said something that got some likes. Let me see if I can ride on his coattails, right? Let's go catch us some clout. And he says, I guess that's what I did by responding to him. But he said, isn't it annoying to see that in addition to being a fraud, Snowden is not that bright? Does any of that follow? I mean, from what Edward Snowden just posted there, do you feel like it naturally follows that he's definitely a fraud and is not bright? I don't understand this. I don't understand how that would even be warranted to say a thing like that. So, I just gave him a dose of his own medicine. I don't think anybody even saw it, right? Frankly, like here I am with all of 4 likes on that comment or on that retweet. But it just really bothered me that he went that route. And I'm going to say, guys, shamelessly, there's a reason that I started to move in the direction of finally doing this. I talked about it over a year ago. And in fact, people who I'm close to locally, they've heard me talk about it as a service, locally. And I just kind of, I don't know what it was that changed for me, but I felt like, okay, I'm probably already too late. Everything already feels like it's very, very late, but privacy is a precious and a very, very fragile thing. And when it comes to digital privacy or privacy of digital data, right? User data privacy, not surrendering everything about our lives and our personal finance and our personal life online. We have to be selective about what we share. First off, like you guys see me on camera, you don't see my family. For the most part, maybe I've had a child wander on screen, but you don't see my family. You don't generally see the street we live on. You don't generally see the neighborhood that I live in. You don't generally know like how to find me in that way. So like I try to be somewhat careful about that. So you have to limit roughly what you put out online, but then for everything else that you don't want to have leak via metadata and then create some kind of a fingerprint, you have to use privacy preserving apps. It's the only way. Otherwise, every other privacy is designed to extract as much personal information from you as possible, put it in a database, and then it's just sitting there waiting to be hacked, right? Over and over again. So yeah, I don't understand how somebody who historically has shown as much intelligence as Nassim Taleb has would say something that would actually prove that he is not that bright. We got Nemesis in the chat saying, yo, what up, all you happy hashers? Big Crypto Dave also says he has an agenda. His tweets are skeptic or skep AF. I believe it, man. No, I believe it. So yeah, I just don't get it, man. I don't get where he gets off saying things like that. Anyway, join me in publicly shaming that kind of behavior. Because here's the other thing, guys. Do I think that Edward Snowden gets everything right? No, I don't. He's absolutely mischaracterized Monero. 100% mischaracterized Monero. He made oversimplifying the privacy mechanisms that are used by Monero. He actually did some harm to Monero by way of scaring away would-be investors or would-be users. Monero is quite private. It's not fundamentally broken in terms of its privacy. But then for him to talk about ZK snarks like they are the superior privacy technology, sure, they're very good. And I definitely recommend that anybody who wants to know more about ZK snarks pay attention to like Pirate Chain, something like that actually uses Pirate Chain. Oh, we got somebody in the chat who wants to bring up somebody's legal record. That's funny. Okay, here we go. Let me put this on screen. So, yep, there it is. It's on screen. So we captured it. We've immortalized it. All right. So Walkthrough Guru says Fluffy got arrested for fraud, dude. Cool story. Very cool story. That's just great. Rosa Parks got arrested for sitting in a bus. Just because you're arrested doesn't mean it's wrong. What people did in Germany in the 1930s was increasingly made legal by changing laws. You can't measure morality just by law, right? That can't be the only way you do it. And seeing somebody be arrested is definitely not an indication of guilt, right? Like being arrested is not the same as being convicted. Please don't bring that kind of weak sauce argument to me again, because I will tear it apart. I was being nice this time. So yeah, we'll leave that one alone. And here's the thing. Fluffy and I don't really get along either. I've argued with him publicly, but I don't want to see the guy behind bars without cause, right? Over trumped up charges for no reason, right? That's not a way to live. It's not a way to treat other people who you disagree with at all. That's the measure of who we are as people, right? As a race, right? As a human race, as humans, that's the measure of how good we really are. That's the measure of our morality and our humanity, right? Not like, well, he broke a law, and so definitely that means he's guilty. Like, no. Or sorry, he was arrested, so that indicates guilt. Yeah. No, being arrested or having somebody claim that you broke a law, well, guess what? Through the stroke of a pen, it could be that sometime in the next, in the next 6 months, it could be that depending on how this infrastructure bill plays out here in the United States, it could be that anybody who has ever held any cryptocurrency in a denomination of greater than $600, like miners, if you've gotten a Coinbase transaction or if you've gotten a mining pool transaction of greater than $600 without reporting it, it could be that you literally just broke a law retroactively. It's not the measure of morality, right? Like we cannot let ourselves be swayed by some of the arguments we hear coming out of these high seats of government, right? They're telling us from the ivory tower that we should be afraid. I say just the opposite. We should absolutely be emboldened right now. And of course, we should be cautious. I like obeying every law. Unfortunately, they keep changing them. It's kind of weird. Yeah, they keep changing them, sometimes even without telling us what's written in them. So anyway, jumping out of the way. But that 22S Burke says plus 100 MYB. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll get off that soapbox. And I don't mean to be like, and it's not, you guys know, not personal. But I did not like that argument very much. I hope that I helped explain why I didn't like the argument very much. Walkthrough Guru, thank you for being here. And thank you for saying it. That's the thing. If it's on your mind, I would much rather hear you say it and us have a conversation as opposed to it just being like, well, like, I'm going to harbor, like, if it is a bias or whatever, I'm going to harbor this bias. I'm going to go like, I'm going to go on Twitter and like, talk crap about this guy because he got arrested. Like, yeah, maybe I should seek to understand a little bit better what it is that you were trying to say. But if what you were trying to indicate was that there's something inherently morally wrong with Monero because Fluffy Pony had trumped up charges brought against him and was arrested, it just doesn't follow. That particular logical fallacy is called a non sequitur. It does not follow. So, yeah. Anyway, going over to what to mine. We've got a little bit of profitability to calculate here, guys, and I don't normally get quite so serious. I'm going to breeze through some of tonight's content. You've been warned because it's guys' night in. I got my dudes with me tonight. Got my guys. So we're going to be doing guys' night in. Kids, and that's code for the kids have a week-long break from school for fall break. So we are starting the festivities tonight. But I'm looking forward to that, guys. It's going to be card games and probably not Risk, because I do need to sleep at some point tonight, but maybe some board games too. Anyway, but we got what to mine going right here, guys. Let's start at the very top of the line on Team Red. We don't always go that direction, but let's start with our typical composite of the 6800 XT and the 5600 XT. Hit calculate on 14-cent power with averages of 7 days and a volume filter of 5. This is going to give us a solid sense for what we can actually trade, right, every single day. And let's see, Ethereum is at the top of the list. The composite score is, well, about $6.46 of profit, right? So Gallo asks, no Monopoly then? Oh, no, here's the thing. We've gotten hooked on Monopoly Deal, the card game, because it's so much faster. So maybe Monopoly Deal, because you can get through a full round in like 5-10 minutes. That and Cover Your Assets, man. If you guys have not played that one, Cover Your Assets, I love that game to pieces. I love it so much. I actually want to make a derivative game from it, like an open source derivative game from it that isn't directly like ripping them off or whatever, but something that's like a similar gameplay. It's so much fun. Anyway, jumping back in. Ethereum is at the top of the list here, guys, at about $6.46. Ravencoin is a significant jump down at under $4. Beam even below that at about $3.50. It only makes sense at this point with current conditions to be on Ethereum. And of course, if you were already mining Ethereum for some time, then you've already built up a significant amount in your Ethereum wallets. And I don't think I've deviated too much from that messaging for the last while. Just saying like, hey, sure, Ergo looks like it's profitable to mine. Ravencoin looks like it's profitable to mine, but if you're mining to hold, if you're not selling right away, then mining Ethereum is going to provide you a longer tail return. And I think that's bearing out right now, right? So the same amount that you mined 2 months ago is going to be bearing fruit now. But yeah, hopefully that is helpful to somebody who's watching and who isn't sure how to plan their mining coins, how to plan their mining portfolio. That's our 6800 and 5600 XT. Let's go to our Radeon 7. And this is a beautiful, beautiful card. Yeah. Golden Wolf says we used to leave a game of Risk open or set up for days in college. I believe it. You can definitely do that. Settlers of Catan also, guys. Settlers of Catan could definitely be on the docket tonight. I don't know. Oliver Coffee says, "Scurred money don't make money," but he didn't say don't make money. He put the bang equals sign, which is not equal sign. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna put it on screen though. You can see it. Dungeons and Dragons is the guess from some goblin loser. I don't know. Yeah, no Dungeons and Dragons tonight. Also pretty involved, and I do not know who's going to run that for the group. I'm out of practice. Maybe I can walk us through it, but not tonight. Ethereum on that Radeon 7 at $5.86. That's a single card, guys. Single card. But $5.86. And yep, Ethereum Classic a little lower, Ergo a little lower than that. Go to our 8 gig Polaris card. And you know what? I don't always do this, guys. What I'm going to do instead is go over to the GPUs tab of whattomine.com. We're going to take a look at the top profits and just run down the list there because it's already compiled. That's what I love about this particular website. And that's actually why I haven't been doing spreadsheets recently, though I'm realizing that right now, in the phase of market development that we're in, right? The phase of market cycle that we're in, I probably need to do a little bit of data compiling to make sure that we know roughly what our hash per dollar per watt is and try to frame that within the context of resale value per card. This data to me is not useful enough right now. So I'm just telling you, this is my thought process. That's what I would want to do for myself if I were buying right now. I'd want to know what's my likely resale value on these cards and what is my hash per dollar per watt? Like if I boil it, if I distill it all the way down, how much bang for the buck am I getting from this card? And how likely is it to sell? And then throw that in as a variable as well. So just so you're aware, that's my thought process. I'm not going to display it on camera. I'm not going to do that in our public live streams at all. If you want, I can set up maybe channel memberships to do that on a private basis. But like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now. I'll say that out loud. I think you have to get a little more data involved. And it's more than just like, all right, so I did like every single model of this card and every sub model of this card. And here are the performance parameters. And here's what I did to overclock and undervolted. That's cool. You can do your testing after the fact, as long as you know it's possible. But before you buy, you have to know if you're even making a good purchase decision right now, because the time to get the card fulfilled to you, then set it up and then realize that it's not going to work for you and then tear it down and then resell it or return it. That's wasted money too, right? It's wasted time, right? So, yeah, better to do some of those calculations, right? Measure twice, cut once, or measure 4 times, cut once, or spend once. So here we are on this list, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at just Team Red. It's Radeon 7 at the top of the list, 6800, and then the 6900 XT comes in behind it. And it's kind of funny. Apparently, there's not very good data there yet. Slightly newer card, but really not much better performance. It looks like they've just mirrored all the copied all the data right there to it. 6800, and it pretty much kind of moves downward as you'd expect. Just below the 5700 is the Vega 64, and then the 6700, and then the Vega 56. So bang for the buck. It looks like you're still getting, more daily profit out of the Vega series cards than you are out of, say, a 5600 or a 6600. However, you are also sipping power on that 5600 and that 6600. But not far behind it is the 588 gigabyte. So yeah, Walkthrough Guru asks, more to the point, will it get you 3 months for ROI? You're asking the right question, but you can only answer that by running those numbers, right? So that's why my mind is going there. You got to know what your ROI timeframe is, and then run the numbers. There's no shortcut there, guys. Not at all. No shortcut, no magic bullet. But guys, the Polaris cards are still doing quite well, and you can pick up one of these. If you can find it used, you can pick up one of these for maybe the same cost as what you pick up one of these. Let's just double check live. We'll go over to, and I know it's not the perfect representation of what a Radeon 6600 XT should cost, but it'll give us a good ballpark anyway. Taking a look at that 6600 XT, we got almost $700. Like, good Lord, really? 720? Down here, they'll let you pay $830 to get it shipped in 2 days. Or here, that's a 6700 XT. But the 6600 XT, the fact that they'll let you pay $800, right? Asus will let you pay over $800 to get this thing shipped to you in under 2 days. Yeah, you better know that it's worth your money, because you can get that other card, right? The Polaris edition card, or the Polaris 50 or RX 580 8 gig card for half that, maybe even less, depending on if you shop at really aggressively. Maybe even, far less than that. So yeah, you're looking at right here. Yes. Is the power consumption higher? It is 130 watts on average to get that 30.5 mega hashes. But I'm here to tell you right now, here we are, as we're approaching the acceleration into this market, you can probably get it to sip a little less power, and you can definitely get it to perform a little bit heavier, right? Hash a little bit harder over the 30.5 mega hash mark there. So there's more than one way to skin that cat. But you're actually acquiring that GPU, getting about 2 of those for every one of that 6600 XT. Yeah, there's not as long a warranty and the possibility of being able to trade it in or trade it up, or or have it appeal to young purchasers, right? People who are just getting into gaming or whatever else. There might not be any new school gamers who are saying like, you know what I really want? I really want an RX 580, 8 gig. True, it may be terminal, right? You may use this thing till the end of its useful life mining. But man, Bitsby Trippin has got hundreds of those things, thousands, hashing away in his warehouse. He's going to put them all under a single phase liquid dunk to help them hash even harder and last even longer. That sounds really, really weird when I'm talking about getting them all wet in dielectric engineering fluid. Don't think about it too much. Anyway, let's jump back out of this view. Go to the very bottom of the list. It's R9 380, still in the profit, still in the money, back up to 85 cents every single day on Elaism. So it kind of popped up in the rankings right there. It was Ethereum Classic before at almost 28 cents per day last time we live streamed. But here we are looking much more profitable on Elaism on that bottom of the line entry. R9 Fury also doing better on Elaism. So basically it's that ETH hash for anything that's got 4 gigs is doing better on Elaism than anything else. So Ravencoin is in a second place to almost all of those. Pretty cool to see another contender there, but I would be very worried about holding on to Elaism for the long term. It's not on my long-term hold list. Let's take a look at Team Green. 3090 is still at the top of the list, right? $7, just over $7 every single day. But you're looking at a card that to actually get it in your hands, you may be spending $3,000. Whew. Yikes. Yikes. Run those numbers. Know what you're doing. Be absolutely sure. But that's just the 3090. 3080 is in, next place. 3080 Ti is strangely below that, despite being released almost a year later. It's really not any better at this. Then we got LHR editions, and then 2080 Ti between those two. 3060 Ti is kind of the sweetheart, in my opinion, of this lineup. 3070 is not bad, and I've read some good reasons for maybe wanting to go with the 3070, but the 3060 Ti really does seem to be, in my opinion, this is like the big win from this most recent hardware lineup between AMD and NVIDIA is getting that 3060 Ti with the intent of secondary markets after the fact. Gamers can use it. It actually does do 1440p gaming. It actually does do 1080p gaming with like full settings across the board and RTX turned on. So for gamers who are looking at using it in that application, they're going to be ecstatic, right? That this is available in the secondary market if you have to sell in the bear. Now, you still have to run your own numbers, guys. You still have to do the math, right? You cannot just take my word for it. I guess it's time to red screen you guys. It's time to run the warning. You still got to do your own homework. But I'm looking at that 3060 Ti and realizing this is kind of the hero that we deserve. It really is. Of all the other cards that were released this year or in the RTX lineup, the 3060 Ti is one that I actually would want in my workstation, that I actually would want in my kids' computers, right? It's got that balance between power and performance. And then it also like hashes, right? It mines pretty sweetly too. So just so you know where my head's at there. But yeah, the 3060 unlocked, 2080, going down the line, starting to see some of the 2000 series RTX cards there. Now we're into the GTX 100 or 1080 series. That's funny. The GTX 1080 is above. Nope, not above the 1080 Ti. 1080 Ti is a little higher than that. Kind of interesting to see how it's above the 2070 and the 2060 Super and the 2070 Super and even the RTX 3060, the base model 3060. It just doesn't even come close to where some of these other 1000 series cards are, right? So the daily profit is higher on that RTX 3060 only because it's more efficient, not because it hits the network harder. So here's where it also pays to to pay attention, or pays to work within what you know is the best performance of that card and not just what the efficiency is. So you may have a different situation from somebody else where, I don't know, power is subsidized or free or renewable. So pay attention to all those factors. Bottom of the list is still the 1050 Ti. And it looks like that 1050 Ti is doing almost 65 cents per day on Ellaism. I would not trust that. Still would not trust that. Got Sandor B in the comments saying, sup. Good to see you, man. Also, I think I see Greg Moravec saying D&D rocks. The Deadwood is here. John Germain also is in the chat. Guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And John Ross also did not see that before. He asks, has anyone ever actually finished a game of Diplomacy? That's a good question. It's a really good question because I've actually finished games of Risk, right? Despite all odds, right? Despite the elements conspiring, we've actually been able to finish those games. Diplomacy, I don't know if I would try it. I don't know if I would chance it. Not on Guys Night In tonight. We actually want to sleep tonight. But the 1050 Ti is highest profit on Ellaism. I'm dubious, right? I think this is going to be like our Dubai coin. I think we're going to see that Ellaism falls off these charts pretty soon, just as fast as it came. And Flux right here, that second place entry for a couple of these coins, like the 1070 and like the 1050 Ti, Flux might be your better long-term mine and hold, or your better long-term mine and flip, or your better long-term mine and then put into a master node or a shared master node with some friends, right? So you have I think you actually have a roadmap there. Ellaism, not going to throw shade on that project. I don't know. It's just not on my list, right? So maybe I do a closer look at Ellaism this week, guys. Maybe that's a better way to approach that. If it comes back up on Monday, I'll try to have a better answer about that, whether or not I think it's, worth still paying attention to. But here's the thing. That's why I do the averages for a week. I don't want to have to think about like, what is the coin du jour? Literally, like, what are we dealing with today by way of coin profits? Nah, man, miss me with that. It's too much headache. Got other stuff to do with my time, right? Want to check in on this? Maybe once a week, maybe. And then maybe not if I don't have to, right? If stuff isn't broken and you've got everything optimized, let it ride, right? Just like investments too. So that's our mining profitability, guys, in a nutshell. Looks like current price of Bitcoin is over 57,000, 57,355. Current price of Ethereum is over 3,600, just barely. Current price of Monero, I'll just put this in as blunt a way as I know how, is more than double the current price of Zcash. And I think that's exactly as it should be. Ethereum Classic, just tenaciously holding on to that over $50 mark too. I don't know how it's managed to do that, but it has. Gosh darn it. Crazy. Cost to mine one full Bitcoin is down. The Brains OS website is not running on any of my browsers right now. For some reason, I think I've not been able to get it to, maybe I need to add third-party cookies or something. That's got to be it. You know what? I'm going to try it live, guys. So I'm in ungoogled Chromium right now, and I want to try to make a change here. So what I'm going to do is go to my privacy and security settings, going to go to cookies and other site data, and I'm going to add, oh, that's funny. Always use cookies. I haven't actually logged into Gmail. I think I did that on a whim, but I can actually remove that. I can revoke that. And then same with TX Street because it wound up not working. But I'm going to go ahead and add this. But first, I will use the nomenclature that they have listed there. So I will put a wildcard, period, right there. And then I don't need anything behind it. Just going to put brains.com and allow third-party cookies. Maybe that's been my issue. So in ungoogled Chromium, I may have just solved that problem. If you notice, I haven't put this browser into amnesiac mode because I need to use it on a regular basis for some accounts. So it's a little more convenient to be able to just log in. Let's go back. Let's refresh the page. I'm going to use Control F5. That should clear the cache and then reload this page. And hey, it kind of looks like we're okay, but it looks like we have to put in our own numbers, right? So let's go ahead and put in, that's not right, 13 and a half. 13 and a half, and my gosh, where did this come from? 1600 watts. That's not perfect either. Let's just see. Yeah, let's see if this is actually running. No, I don't have a calculate button either. It's not really running still. it improved a tiny bit, but didn't actually solve that problem. Could be that it needs to run something else that was okay in another browser, or maybe it requires Widevine or something, some kind of DRM plugin, but kind of weird. Anyway, sorry that that's not running, guys. We're just filled with compromises tonight. And Sandor B is saying all coins are going sideways on prices. Everyone is waiting for BTC to pump and dump. Maybe, man, that might be the case. I think that there is quite a bit left ahead of Bitcoin, and there's quite a bit left ahead of the alts too, right? Like, so play your position, play it well. Don't get caught up, right, in the drama of just one thing. If you're okay with having a little bit of your portfolio on both sides, then figure out if that works for you. Have a little bit on both sides and be prepared to exit when it's time. So, all right, guys, moving on to our GPU mining portfolio. This is kind of a big deal. Ooh, ultrasound money. I've got to get you out of here because all you do is make me mad. All right, getting out of here. Hard money movers also, we already saw that the other night. Not super important at this point. But back to our portfolio, guys. Equilibria is still maintaining that lead. It's dumped pretty aggressively, right? We actually got a Bart Simpson right there. See, it shot straight up. That's when we all saw it, like, oh my gosh, Equilibria, it's so profitable to mine. And then it stopped being profitable, and guess what? Fell off a GD cliff. Boom. Bart Simpson. Classic Bart Simpson with a little head and shoulders action up there on top. If you zoom out, it looks like a Bart Simpson. If you zoom in, it's an obvious head and shoulders moving in a downward channel, and then it just disappears like a head and shoulders would. So that's a bummer. Flux, on the other hand, is going crazy right now. It's like, hi, I want to be a number one again. I have no idea what that's all about. Maybe there was an announcement by the Flux team that would give us some insight there. But those are number 1 and number 2, respectively. Ryo currency is in number 3, which is cool to see. And then we've got our wrapped Bitcoin representations and Ethereum. Dead last is Mimblewimble coin. It has not been able to move up in the rankings. It's still 51% down. BitTube is the second to last, with signs of maybe manipulation in that those trading formations, those chart formations there. Those spikes are just way too intense to be exactly just left alone. Golden Wolf reminds us that the Flux snapshot is in 2 days. Yes, thank you. I think, unless I'm mistaken, the Flux snapshot should bring a couple of things. Should bring, I think, a new parallel asset, and I think it should bring some new network support for the Zelcore wallet. I know for a fact that the latest beta builds of the Zelcore desktop wallet, for example, support Polygon network. How do I know? Because the development team told me directly. They were like, hey, we know you're into Polygon. This new beta wallet supports it. Will you try it out? So I did. Works great. Works just fine because it's an EVM chain that's simple to use. But yeah, the snapshot, that makes a lot more sense. Thanks for bringing that up. Big news coming out of Flux that would explain why the price is going up. Total P&L for this portfolio is 23.8% up, but 24 hours change is almost 6% down. So we have seen some loss over the last day. But if you had the same portfolio that we have lined up here, you'd in general be up. However, your biggest winners right here from about Ergo all the way up, see Conceal, Ravencoin, Matic Aave, interest-bearing wrapped Ethereum, and everything else we talked about. All of those are what's carrying the portfolio from May 26th until today. Everything below that is dragging it down. So the fact that it's above, like in the red, or in the black rather, and above the main profit line is kind of because of these moonshots here, Ryo currency, Flux, and Equilibria. If we deleted even one of these, we might be closer to the break-even mark on this portfolio. So in some cases, yeah, it almost does make more sense to just see like, okay, well, I've got some winners in my portfolio. And when we see this like big price channels moving up and then maybe a spike, or we sense that there's kind of a big news coming in, like with Flux, if you already knew, and you were planning on there being a pretty intense 24-hour move, then it would have made sense to maybe cull some of your losers and say, cool, I'm going to take whatever it is here. Like maybe I'm down 9%, right, on Firo. And I'm not saying this because I think you should go sell your Firo or whatever. But as an example, it's only down by 9%. Same with Conflux, right? I'll use that as an example. For me, like I've got whatever, I don't care. Firo is more interesting to me because of the zero knowledge proofs, the privacy coin. But if I were to like say cut Conflux from my portfolio, right, it'd be only, gosh, $885 in that side of the portfolio. And you'd think, but Seth, didn't you just lock in your losses? Didn't you just actually like right now, didn't you finally realize losses because you sold too early? What if it goes back up? Well, that's a good question. But we've seen everything else go back up at this point, and it didn't go back up as much. So what I'd be thinking about is this. I'd be thinking about which of these underperforming assets can I cut to then put into an asset that now is a little bit more proven, right? Or that I know has some kind of an upcoming event that will increase the positive price action. So I can recoup my loss and have a heavier amount in that winner, because I believe, like I've finally seen how it performs. And maybe now I've formed a logical argument. I've formed like a better argument for why I would double down on some of those other coins, if that makes sense. That'd be maybe the process that I'd be using mentally right now to evaluate some of these coins that, where in some cases maybe I mined it, and so I didn't actually put $1,000 into it, but I see now that it's underperforming compared to others, and maybe I want to like pull some of it out and leave a little bit in, so it's like, all right, it's a moonshot, moon bag, right? Maybe that one does pop off 3 years from now because something changes, but maybe it never does. So I only leave a tiny bit in, and I put the rest towards coins that I have a stronger reason to believe will perform. So anyway, without giving advice, guys, I'm just looking at these portfolios and realizing we got a lot of coins here. And gosh, yeah, that's the funny thing. It doesn't have a counter right there to tell us exactly how much. There we go. So, ooh, that's fun. That's really fun. Wow, look at that. It even tells us how our portfolio has done over time. That's fancy. Very fancy. Philip Rover says in the comment section, there are 2 new parallel assets, both Flux on Solana and Flux on Tron. Awesome. Thank you for the clarification. I think that there are some additional parallel assets being maybe roadmapped for down the line. So I didn't want to speak out of turn. Thank you for the update. Really appreciate that. On Flux, guys, more parallel assets being added there. If you're mining Flux, then that means you may be mining to a pool where you're getting those parallel assets as well. But yeah, taking a look at our portfolio here, guys, I'd be figuring out how to divvy this up again, maybe right now. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll just say it's over 20, right? Over 20 coins, right, in this portfolio. This is like a $20,000 portfolio, right? So, or more? Yeah, at any rate. Yeah. Anyway, like a $22,000 portfolio. I'd be thinking about like, okay, well, I lost however much over here. And if I had reallocated over here, I can see there are some winners, right? That would have brought my gains up a little bit higher. So now I'm going to take a look at a few of these and start figuring out, with something that I already have in play, how can I start to reallocate, and without getting killed on like trading fees, how can I put myself in a better position to ride some of these pumps, right? Boom. Straight up. Yeah, Ren BTC and others, anything correlated with Bitcoin is doing great right now also because of its rise. I mean, there are plenty of coins that aren't correlated to Bitcoin, right? Where Bitcoin's leaving behind. Hard drive mineable coins, guys. Let this load up. But the hard drive mineable coins, we are almost break even between yesterday and today. Still, we are in the red since we started the portfolio, right? Total P&L is down almost 7%. MadeSafe coin and storage are above the waterline. Everything else is below. So storage and MadeSafe have proven themselves as coins that did really well in this side of the portfolio. Everything else did a lot worse. Chia is still down 80%, but Signum, even though it had some positive price action this week, we saw it really suffer in this portfolio as well. I think at one point we actually saw Signum in the bottom slot below Chia. So we've had a couple of coins that just haven't performed super well. You like how I hit the disclaimer? Because I'm just clicking buttons instead of actually having my Stream Deck. I am missing my Stream Deck now on Linux a little bit. So I'm like, let's just put something on screen. I need to start doing some animations or transitions here. But Yeah. So I'm looking at this portfolio and realizing it might have been hard to predict any kind of positive price action or turnaround in Signum, but we're seeing right now that like Storage, Siacoin, Filecoin, Chia, they've all been in a downward channel this last week. Kind of, yeah, inverse correlation to Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin going back up, these coins dropping back down. Kind of a sad thing to see, but yeah, if you can reallocate to have winners, then why wouldn't you? Right? You see the total P&L is down like down by a significant amount, but a couple of these assets have performed by over 10%, right? Over 20%. So yeah, wouldn't be sure that I'd want to, yeah, I wouldn't want to hold on to a lot of these. I wouldn't want to ride this down 80% into the ground. That's, yeah, that'd be really painful. But going into our CPU mineable coins, we have got Raptorium in the number one spot, still just absolutely, the destroying angel. Epic Cash is in number 2 spot, also doing phenomenally well. CPU mineable, GPU mineable, and ASIC mineable, but likely most profitable on CPUs. We've got Monero that's still in the black, but then everything else is in the red. Yenten, our biggest loser at 51% down. Everything else is not that bad. 24-hour change, we're up almost 8%, but then the total P&L, we're up over 140%. And it's largely because of Raptorium and Epic Cash, right? These two have, speaking of coins that have performed, these two have vastly outperformed everything else. When we put Raptorium in the portfolio, it was an eye-opener, right? Like it just smashed everything else. And Epic Cash too, where it was like, on a whim, let's add Epic Cash. Let's just see. And Epic Cash, well, it didn't disappoint. We'll see how it does as Bitcoin continues to gain in dominance and continues to rise in price, because it might not do as well compared to Bitcoin. We'll see. But it's done very well so far. No complaints there, right? Over 300% up. That's our CPU side of the portfolio, guys. ASIC mineable coins. If you got ASICs that run these, and I've got a video coming out, a collab coming out really soon that I think you guys are going to like, that features an ASIC. You're going to like it when it's finally published. But our 24-hour change is 3.5% down, or up. There we go, up. And our total P&L is 2.6% up. So let's see. David Jimmy Thing is saying, thanks for the stream. 3 stone, 2 wheat, and the longest road for the win. Yes. Love it, man. Love it. Yeah. It's so funny. We do not play Settlers of Catan as much as we'd like, but it's such a favorite in our house. When we do play it, it's like, yes, we finally get to play. Just hard to carve out time, it seems, which is strange because we've all said over the last year, so many of us have spent so much time at home. You'd think it'd be the easiest time of our life to spend more time at home, but it's actually harder somehow. Weird. Anyway, guys, what? Yeah, not family advice. I don't know why I keep hitting that button by accident, but it keeps happening. So yeah, guys, we've got, we've got a little bit of a lag, actually. I'm noticing not between what I'm seeing and the stream, but I think I'm seeing a little bit of a lag in the comments coming in. It's kind of weird. All right, guys, we got one downvote. Yay! Thumbs up to the person who gave me thumbs down. By the way, whoever you are the real MVP. I just need you to know that, because we can't all be thumbs up all the time. That's just not statistically possible. It's just not, right? Even the stream, even Potato Cam, it can't quite save us for being, 100% thumbs up all the time. So it's all right. It's all right. It's okay to not have thumbs up all the time. But moving back over to our ASIC mineable portfolio, guys, even though it's not technically a mineable currency, the Go Mining token is still in the number 1 slot because it is a tokenized representation of the Go Mining hosted mining company. So people who purchase this token apparently have become involved in the funding of this mining operation. And somebody asked me to put this into the portfolio, so I did. But it's doing quite well, doing over 200%. Bitcoin, however, is finally up over 40% from our first paper purchase in this portfolio. Kind of nice. But yeah, kind of nice to see that. Nothing else is above water. Grin, Litecoin, Decred, Dash, Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, Devault, Horizon, Dogecoin, Bytecoin, and last but not least, Pirate Chain. Everything is down from when we put it in the portfolio. Pirate Chain is down almost 50%, which is kind of a bummer. But there you have it. And mining, as I understand it, see, it looks like we got some goodbyes in the comment section, guys. Looks like Golden Wolf needs to drive. Wish him well, obviously. Stay safe. But guys, if you're not familiar with Pirate Chain, cool private by default project. Currently, right now, market cap is rising to almost $500 million. That's really gratifying to see. And it's a really inexpensive price, really low transaction fees. And I think that mining will be shut off relatively soon. Like, we're going to see the end of mining, the tail emission of all coins that will be admitted through mining. We will actually be able to see at some point, I think in the next several months or couple of years. Don't quote me, but I've got to take a look at some of the specifics on that project. I think that we're going to see the end of mining very, very soon. So it's kind of cool to see that it's being adopted the way it is, that it might go to transaction fees only as far as mining payouts. And that'll be, again, a very interesting thing to see. But at about $2.15, I mean, kind of cool to think of it as maybe being like having almost dollar parity, and then being able to use it privately by default all the time. Pardon my ignorance, guys. I'm not super familiar with whether or not there are mobile wallets for this project yet. There were Z2Z mobile wallets that were developed for Zcash, but they didn't work. I tried them and they didn't work. And it was not a question of being on one of my de-Googled phones, right? The Mind Your Biz phone. It was on a full Android phone at the time. And I think I tried it on something else and it just didn't work. Nighthawk wallet was the one. It just didn't run. And I don't know what was wrong with it. Didn't seem to sync. But yeah, Pirate Chain, something to look into. I hope that they have the mobile wallet issue figured out. It was a very difficult issue early on for all Zcash clones or all coins that use ZK snarks, the privacy technology of Zcash. Very difficult to get them to do private to private transactions from a mobile wallet, right? From a light client. So I'm wondering how that's been addressed by the Pirate Chain team, if it's been addressed, or if it's been rolled into larger multi-coin wallets, similar to Zelcore. Because if it has been, then that would make it super easy to use. And if it can be used right in e-commerce, which I want to say it can, pretty sure that Pirate Chain is accepted by at least one of the major coin payment processors, whether it's Now Payments or it's coinpayments.net. I forget which one, but I think at least one of them supports it. So we've got some components in place there to turn it into an e-commerce coin, which would be really, really cool. But we're almost there, guys, right? So yeah, Rob is in the chat saying ZK snarks are great for our privacy. I agree. So services that run as smart contracts in Ethereum, they add that too. Just that Ethereum is really expensive to use. Polygon is not. And every smart contract that runs on Ethereum runs on Polygon. So think about that one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That's our ASIC mineable portfolio. Moving from the ASICs to FPGAs, guys. Let's take a look to see what's good over in FPGA land. And let me know, you already told me what you were drinking before, guys. Tell me, what are you doing right now? Well, I mean, don't describe in detail because I don't want it to get weird, but are you like kicking back watching TV? Are you just checking social media? Is this playing in the background? Do you have me on a large screen TV? Is that how the show is playing tonight? That'd be kind of weird for me because I never watch YouTube on TVs, but it'd be kind of flattering too. And it might, motivate me to use a better camera, if I'm being honest. So tell me what you're doing tonight. Tell me what's good. All right, back over to FPGAs, guys. Our total P&L is up 11.5% roughly, and 24-hour change is almost 2% up. Cadena is really our big winner. It's still the one that's above the treading water line, and everything below it is not doing so hot. So we got Nimiq, Teller, Digibyte, Handshake, and 0x Bitcoin all in that lower list. 0x Bitcoin is getting those more intense swings, and I realize this is a micro cap coin, and there aren't a lot of people who are really interested in it, but every time I see it do this, I like pulling up a chart so we can kind of see, right? So, and David, it says whoa, T-Bone's laying in bed watching the stream. Sandor is watching price action on coins while learning TA for crypto, and this is playing in the background. Cool. Hey, I appreciate that. I hope this is actually helpful in some of your research as you're figuring out what moves to make for your own portfolio. But 0x Bitcoin, guys, again, it's not actually ranked even by CoinGecko. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Rob is, good man. He's setting new stop losses with YouTube on in the background. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Active involvement in trading. Like if you're going to do it, gosh darn it, you better know where your stop losses are so that the whales don't come in and totally get you liquidated. They get you all messed up. Get your stop losses called. John Ross is spending more time programming his robot vacuum than it would take to just vacuum the floor. I feel like when there are robo companions that replace female companions, we're going to see it's exactly the same problem. Probably better to just go with, Mother Nature. But, I didn't want it to get too weird too fast, right? But I always make it too weird too fast. It's my secret cap. All right. So jumping back into the chat right here. Yeah. John Ross, yeah, it got weird. Yeah, I know. I compared a vacuum to a human being. That's wrong. That is definitely wrong. Because if a human being sucks that hard, it's like, nah, just stick with a vacuum. All right. 0x Bitcoin, dude. And that is, don't read into that. I was trying to okay, I give up. I'm closing this channel tomorrow. I'm just gonna nuke it from space. All right, 0x Bitcoin, guys. It's down a little bit, but that's been a feature that we've explored before on the channel. Looks like its typical volatility is back, right? So $0.3866 there, and then 0.47, right? So almost a 10-cent swing, and it looks like it's programmed. So to see that come back in when less than 7 days ago, there were far lower swings. Well, this is the sort of thing that I think we've determined on this show before, somebody is using for their own gain, right? So, yeah, somebody's using this for their own gain, but yeah, just interesting that it does that. And every 24 hours, there you go, almost $1 million that's traded on this coin. With, of course, being an ERC20 token, it's got Sushi Swap and Uniswap available, but then Mercatox and Hotbit with really high volume, right? Highest volume on these exchanges. And you're only seeing a tiny bit actually going back and forth in a decentralized fashion. But on these paper trading platforms, you got tons of volume coming through. And so I think somebody is definitely, washing this back and forth, or just making themselves, I don't know. Maybe they're washing it. Maybe they're washing it in a couple places to try to one place to try to see gains and realize gains against other traders in another place. They got their own little small wash trading operation going on, but definitely there's some automation happening there. And I don't like using the M word for this because it doesn't look like it's typical manipulation, but I do think that there's somebody manipulating it enough to make money. I'd like to think somewhere out there, somebody's making money on that price swing. That'd be super cool to know that somebody is, doing a cool 2% on their money every day, right? I think that'd be cool for them. Anyway. Yeah, Deadwood says it looks like bots. You are right, sir. Absolutely looks like bots. But that's always at the bottom of the list these days, it seems. Moving from FPGAs into proof-of-stake smart contracts. And proof-of-stake smart contracts. Yeah, so Walkthrough Guru is wondering about the M word. Yeah, not dial M for murder, but manipulation. I don't like using that word loosely, right? It can make it seem like some projects are bad when there's maybe no ill intent. There could just be some kind of mishandling of some automation somewhere, right, with the project. But top of the list here is Phantom. Looks like we are over 24 hours, just up a fraction of a percent. And total P&L is up by 85%. So it's doing well. It's healthy as an entire portfolio. You guys are getting me with these comments. Gallo says, dial M for monkey. It's minky to you, sir. Minkies. All right. So Phantom is our number one. Everything else is kind of in decline, but Phantom appears to have gone up over the last 7 days. Last 7 days for everything else, though, has been kind of bloody for the other top performers. Let's see. Yep. Terra, Solana, Avalanche, Cosmos, Wax. They're all not doing super hot. Polkadot, on the other hand, is booming right now. And I think that has to do with the announcement of, I guess, the merge for, or mainnet, so that you have everybody who was previously developing on Kusama now able to deploy at some point with the parachains on Polkadot, right? On the main net for Polkadot. So that's going to be a big deal for them. Yep. But if you're a Polkadot hodler, you are being rewarded right now. Coin price of over $40 per coin. Any Polkadot hodlers here on the stream? Let me know in the chat. But moving to our break-even point, which is just below Kusama. There you go, speak of the devil. It's Chainlink, but it's a big jump down, right? It's a big drop down, 20% down, kind of sad, but because there's strong fundamentals there. But we're more in the profit on this portfolio than I think any of the others, right? Just these final 6 that are below the break-even mark. Internet Computer is still dragging the tail end up, right? They're above 70% down. They're finally only 68% down. Polygon is 43% down. It makes me sad because I think it's got strong fundamentals, but it's only $1.25 right now. So if you feel strongly about it, then, I guess maybe now's still an opportunity to get in. It's not me. I would not tell you, like, you definitely need to go get some Matic, but I'm still confused as to why it seems undervalued, because it's performing, right? It's doing useful and functional things in the real world, right? People are using it. Definitely. Millions of transactions go through. So I'm a bit confused by that. But yeah, these 6 are not doing their very best. And everything else is in the money. It's kind of crazy times there. But moving from this side of the portfolio into automated liquidity. Philip got into DOT at under $3. Awesome. Good for you, sir. So you got your Baker's 10x, right? 10x and then some. That's awesome. So happy for you on that. Looks like Hex is still being outperformed by Raptorium, but that's not a shock. A lot of things are being outperformed by Raptorium in this portfolio. Hex is down a bit. Looks like its coin prices, there we go, heading towards the 30-cent range. So if you were before looking at Hex at over 40 cents and thinking, well, I missed the boat there, if this is in like your thing, then it's giving healthy correction, which is a good thing for people who need a healthy correction to figure out their on-ramp. Shiba Inu is still just doing insane things. It doesn't make sense to me. A market cap of $14 billion. Again, I don't understand. I'm not going to say that it can't go higher, right? We've said that it probably could, but in my mind, for it to go much higher is like almost a miracle, really. If we're able to do a 10x above this somehow, like how do you think that could even be possible, right? I'm not seeing that, right? A market cap of $140 billion for a meme coin like this, it just doesn't make sense to me. So if you think that's possible, try to explain it to me in really small words in the comments section. Like, because I feel like trying to make that work requires such mental gymnastics, such mental flexibility that I'm going to break something. So yeah, help me understand. If you think that Shiba Inu can go much higher, how's that going to work in your mind? Hyperburn is still there, doing quite well based on what we put into the portfolio. Haven't taken a close look. David is asking about time zones. And are you asking me, David, or are you asking another person in the chat? All right. So guys, just be careful. Don't give too much personal information about yourself. Not too much, right? You can let us know generally if you'd like, but don't give too much personal information in the chat, because we don't know who else is watching who might not be a safe person. Because these are cryptocurrency conversations, it tends to attract people who are very unscrupulous and who will go really far out of their way, even when they see an audience like this on a channel like this, to prey on anybody who's part of the group. And you see it on Telegram more, but it happens on YouTube also, right? So stay safe. But yeah, back in the liquidity portfolio, guys, DYDX is our number 4. And our break-even point is just above Uniswap. It's PancakeSwap. So PancakeSwap has come up. Ampleforth is not dead, but it does this weird Bart Simpson thing every now and then. See that? Really big Bart Simpson there because it rebases. So kind of a weird, definitely a weird, yeah, coin or token. So it's almost like a lottery. Just weird. So yeah, guys, everything else is below the break-even point and looks highly correlated to Bitcoin, but a little bit price depressed. So those fluctuations are just lower, right? So Dragon's Quick as well as Quick from the QuickSwap project is down, but it's also a governance token that's in the hundreds, right? So consider the fact that Uniswap is is dozens of dollars. These guys made it up to hundreds of dollars. So that's a bit impressive there, a bit inspiring. So you guys are asking what time zone I'm in. I operate out of GMT -7 or 6, depending on the time of the year. So basically Denver time. Just to keep that simple. But yeah, guys, those are our biggest losers there. But it looks like a lot of coins in this lineup took a bit of a beating. The governance coins, right? XSushi and Sushi, Uniswap, not doing as well as you'd hope, right? Then again, Uniswap was a 100% airdrop, right? So to begin with, many people who hold Uniswap because it was airdropped to them. So like no tears shed here at all, right? for being below 30 bucks on Uniswap. It may rise back up again because of the awesomeness of Uniswap as a platform. We'll see. All right. So moving from some of those, let me ask some questions, guys. If you have any questions about mining tonight or any questions about the markets right now that you really want to talk to me about, or if there's a product you want me to take a look at to give you a hot take, let me know in the comment section. We're going to be cutting the stream not early, not at all, but I am planning to cut the stream on time tonight. So if you have questions, go ahead and throw them into the comment section now, the live chat right now, so that I can get to those as soon as possible and not miss any questions that maybe you wanted to ask or that you just wanted to ask the group. Okay, so make sure you get those into the chat right away. Woo. All right, put that back on screen there for just a second and go into our chart. Here we are on TradingView, and it's just loading up right now. You can tell I'm not even using the full paid version of TradingView right now, but I don't really need to get a couple of simple tools. Core Visual asks, what's your long-term view on Flux? Good project? That's the big question. Well, my long-term view on Flux is that I think what they're building with decentralized node networks is valuable. I think they'd have to create a decentralization score for that node network so that they can know whether or not the nodes are hosted on AWS, Google Cloud Platform, or Microsoft Azure, any of these large public cloud platforms. And I think that if they are hosted on those, they would need to, not disqualify those nodes from operating, but give them some kind of a decentralization score. So that way, if AWS had some kind of a policy against hosting blockchain applications like theirs, then they wouldn't have to worry about getting a significant part of the network shut down. So I think that it's a good project, but as far as it being a great project that will definitely be here 5 years from now, I don't know yet. Disclosure, guys, I would consider myself relatively close to the core team, the executive team on Flux. So I like what they're doing, and I like them as people. I think they've got a great leadership team, and I think they're building in the right direction. But as far as it being a project that will definitely last, man, crypto moves so quick. It's hard to say what could change their business model or what could give them trouble, right, with their business model, and then prevent them from being able to execute on the roadmap. So I like it. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket, right? So I would diversify a bit from there. And a couple of the great questions. Got Tessin Jaffer asking about my thoughts on Celsius. Well, let's see. Celsius is an interesting platform. I think that Alex Mashinsky, again, great as far as leadership, really strong leadership. and strong leadership team, surrounds himself with high achieving individuals, and even their affiliate and their sort of like and their evangelist team. Really great affiliate and evangelist team for Celsius. As far as it being a business model that I'd want to stay close to, I've got a bit of an aversion to platforms like that are custodial. Now, I know that they've got safeguards in place. I know that they've done some, I think, some security audits. I should say, I think they have. I don't know if they have, or who audited their security. And as I understand it, they're quite secure, but there will never be anything as secure as you holding your own tokens. So even if somebody offers yield, like I have some aversion to putting a significant amount of my cryptocurrency in somebody else's care. So like on the one hand, I think it's great that they're doing what they're doing and that they're offering the returns that they're offering, and they're successfully and continually paying out what they promise. That's good. It's all very good. But I'm nervous about letting anybody else hold my crypto at all for any reason, even if they're pretty good, right? And so I appreciate you asking about that. Celsius seems like they seem like good faith actors. I know also that whole industry is filled with drama and politics. So after having some conversations with some of their lead evangelist folks within the Celsius community, or I guess head community folks within the Celsius community, there's big drama between gosh darn it, what is their main competitor's name? I'm totally drawing blank. Is it Blockfolio? Right, not Blockfolio. Gosh darn it, I'm forgetting it. I'm drawing blank, guys, but they got their main competitor in the market, right? There's a bit of drama between these two camps, and I've seen them just go at it in public forums where I'm like, good grief. Like, okay, you don't have to, not Nexo, BlockFi. Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm like totally drawing blank here. Not Nexo. I think between the two more established projects, BlockFi and Celsius, Nexo is viewed as a bit of a joke. Because of security, right? And some other issues there. That said, they probably all offer some return. They probably all offer some yield. But as I understand it, in order of like security and backing, one for one, or over collateralization, as I understand it, it's Celsius, BlockFi, Nexo. Even still, it makes me super anxious to let somebody else hold my cryptocurrency. Even if you offered me 10%, it'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to go look for coins that in a portfolio that maybe offers me 10% some other way. And I'm going to try to do this on my own reconnaissance with my own private keys. Like, no, you don't get to hold my cryptocurrency because depending on where you operate in the world, if that particular federal government decides we've changed the reporting requirements, well, now you have to spy on me, right? Like, now you have to tell them everything I do. You have to tell them how much I hold with you. You have to tell them the payouts. Like, you have to tell them everything at all times. Whereas, let's just say, like, without giving financial advice, let's just say I just wanted to do my taxes on my own terms. And let's just say that with my particular tax accountant, that we've set up a not a yearly, but once every 2 year rotation for certain taxes for very specific reasons, right? Like, I get to choose. If that's the case, I get to choose the means and the time frame and the way in which I do my reporting, right? So I've got some issues. Or let's just, like, I use a terrible example there as far as like every other year, because I know somebody who does that for his company, and it works well for him, apparently. So, but no, just like quarterly reporting or yearly reporting, I can choose, right? It's not about like them saying, oh, well, a law changed, and so now we have to do this. It's in the end user license agreement, and because we already have your coins, you are already bound, right? Like, I don't like that. I don't want to ask permission in cryptocurrencies. I just don't. It defeats the purpose entirely. If cryptocurrencies cannot operate like cash, like a bearer asset that empowers me, then I don't know why we're doing it. I really don't understand, right? So that's just, little more impassioned there, but more in-depth answer. I hope that's helpful. Another question came in about a different project. The Deadwood asks about, have you looked into XPR Proton? It's doing very well. I'm not invested just watching it? It's a good question. No, I haven't really looked into XPR Proton. Let's just see right here. Let's see which comes up first. XPR? Nope, XPRT. Ha! That's cool. Persistence I am looking at, guys, just so you know. I am looking at persistence, and I am curious to see how XPRT performs. I might need to put it into some of our proof of stake portfolio. Since it came up, right? I'd like to do that. So, see. It's not actually a network token. It actually is more, it's more like an automated liquidity token. It's more similar as a platform token. So maybe I leave it with that one because it's more similar to something like Uniswap than it is to something like Polkadot. I'm going to go ahead and add it here. It's not that it's like a perfect fit. Yeah, persistence. And if Rob is still in the chat, then he knows. We've got a mutual acquaintance over at Persistence who's just absolute brilliant lady. Love her to pieces. In terms of like just interaction and great conversation. Nope. No. Sorry, bud. Solid no. Nope. 5 minutes. Okay. All right. Get some food.
I had some food down here.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and clean up then. I'll be over in a minute, bud. Okay. So, all right, guys. I am. Whew. It's getting close. Getting close to time. I'm being called in. The natives are restless. But yeah, soon. So I'm going to go ahead and add persistence here, guys. Next time, I'll go ahead and I'll put an amount into here, right? So, but yeah, let's see. XPR is what you asked about with Proton. Also doing well. It looks like it's in the top 300. And yeah, Philip, yeah, I agree. Pay your taxes. 100%. Guys, please do not ever misunderstand. On this show, like, I'll be the first to say that I agree with the libertarian refrain that taxation is theft. It sounds good, doesn't it? But I'll also be the first to say that you do not want the IRS or, least of all, the California Board of Equalization ever to come knocking on your door saying, we think you still owe us. Not a good look. I don't want to be there. So, yeah. Proton looks like, just from a pure price performance standpoint, it looks like it's, down recently, $2 or 2 cents per coin, market cap of over 200 million. So maybe it's got something left in the tank to get farther up ahead, over 31 million in daily trading. Rob, pay the bribe with a smile. Yeah, pay the bribe with a smile. He's like, all right, here's a crisp dollar bill. Don't spend it all in one place. Yeah. Charmer. All right. So let's just see here. I don't know much about this. Blog at MetalPay. Oh my gosh. What? Why would they link to that for the website? Was MetalPay the only outlet to say anything nice about them? Because I apologize, guys. The fact that they referenced MetalPay to me is a red flag. I do not view MetalPay as an actual leader in this space. I don't. So I worry a bit. MetalPay is, if anything, it might be a bit dated. But I'm also not like super up to speed on what's new with them, right? So not super up to speed on what's new with MetalPay. Could be that there's been a lot of recent development. And it could be that I'm unfairly saying that things are not doing well here. They've got a lot going on here. So is Proton then the token of MetalPay? Because it looks like, no, MTL would be. So MTL is theirs. They got an airdrop, or apparently holders got an airdrop by hanging on to MTL. That's what I'm seeing here. And Proton looks like it's primarily, oh, you know what though? Huh. Binance Smart Chain. Oh, I got to take a look. You're killing me. There's more we need to know. So popping open bscscan.com, and I can put in the smart contract address here. There we go. There's the address. And on bscscan.com, tells us this is the token tracker, XPR. And that was the issuing wallet there. Looks like there are 10 billion XPR. And it's being actively traded on PancakeSwap, among other places, but mostly PancakeSwap V2, with lots of coins coming through. Apparently this is moving fast. Protonchain.com. So a quick once-over hot take on the website. Build on Proton, the payment blockchain. Sorry, we'll try to use their native dark mode if they have it. Oh wait, this totally is a metal pay thing. What? 47 minutes.
To the first blockchain. Welcome to Proton Developer Conference. I'm Marshall Hayner, founder of First Blockchain Bank and Trust, Metal cryptocurrency, and Proton Blockchain. Today we'll be talking about all the really interesting innovations that Metal has built over the past several years, leading up to the First Blockchain Bank and Trust, the first full federal bank charter in the United States to custody cryptocurrency and accept fiat deposits simultaneously. Interest-bearing stablecoins, lightning-fast microtransactions.
Okay, I don't want to roll their PR for free. My gosh. Well, I'd have to take a closer look. I'm surprised that they're shocked. I guess I should say that they don't have a dark mode. That's not like a criticism of the core project. It's just a little more comfortable here for us. So I will throw my dark mode back on. There we go. I'll have to take a closer look at Proton, and it's not immediately clear actually why Proton is necessary for this, because this person walks on stage and talks about metal pay. Proton doesn't appear to have a use case in that preamble, whatever they said there. So I know, Gallo, I'm sorry, man. Sorry about that. But it doesn't appear to have any kind of a reason for existing. There we go. Governance of the chain, allocating network resources. Why? And staking rewards to long-term holders. Apps can rent resources from the chain itself. Inflation rewards help fund pool development. Okay, then why is it on BSC? What do you mean rent from the chain itself? Why would you need a BSC token to do that? Yeah, the Deadwood says the banking system is what grabs me ears. Sure, there's maybe some crossover there, but that also means that they're knee deep in the custodial space. They absolutely are working within very intense KYC and AML frameworks. There you go. Proton Chain stores identity attestations by multiple identity providers, both for individuals and businesses. These identity providers can be queried with the user's permission. That's already true of just a standard plain vanilla database. And the problem is that it tends to be leaked. So I don't know. This is a Binance Smart Chain token. What do they mean? The chain stores things. What chain? There you go. Kotlin Swift. Ooh. And sorry if this is in advance, if this is not pleasant to look at. Proton Web SDK. So I apologize, guys. I don't know enough about this to be able to speak to it confidently. So I'm for whatever reason, I'm inclined to say negative things because I've got some bias against MetalPay right now. So I'll make that very clear. I've got some bias, but I don't want to say something that's like just, mean or not well thought out or ignorant. So I'll reserve judgment there. But yeah, XPR, I'll take a closer look. It's definitely not mineable. I don't know. Peter Lewis saying, isn't it just traded on BSC and ETH chains? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's just a token at this point. I don't think it's actually necessary. So yeah, Tessin Jaffer is saying, thanks for the answer on Celsius. Says that he's in Tanzania and Celsius was a very good first step to get into the crypto space. Now He's on PancakeSwap, but from there, it looks like a good way to DCA for long term. Yeah, DCA is an important strategy for a lot of people. So you have to, if you're going to go out of your way to dox on one of these platforms for the KYC requirements, it does make sense to just stick with that. And then, so you're not like having to resubmit KYC on various new platforms all the time. I've literally told platforms that asked me to review them, no, if they required KYC, because I'm just tired of KYCing on new platforms all the time. You can shut down your account and they can tell you that your information is gone, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've purged their servers of all of your info, including your, photos of your driver's license and stuff. So I worry about how many times I sign up for new services like that and have my personal information everywhere, So that's probably a smart reason to stay, like you're saying. But yeah, let's see. Alrighty, guys. Looks like over here on our chart, Bitcoin, it retraced, it came back down a little bit, but it has returned right to sort of that bullish action. I'm going to move our chopsticks a little bit into a channel because now it looks like we've got a channel instead of just some kind of an ascending triangle. And I'll leave it at that channel, and we'll see if we can draw something that's a little bit more coherent. That looks like maybe it fits. Alrighty. Come here, chopsticks. They are not meeting right now, but it's okay. Gallo's getting in the spirit, throwing some chopsticks up on screen. Make sure those show. Gallo also says, that's why I like KuCoin and I'm off Binance. Good for you. Guys, if you can avoid being on Binance or Coinbase or any of the major platforms that require KYC, but also tend to lock up your coins when you really want them or need them, you can do better, right? You don't have to. You don't have to stay on some of those platforms. Limitless Combos in the chat says, hello all. Glad to see you, Limitless Combos. Thanks for being here. All right, this is our current chart. If this is to be believed, if this channel can be maintained, I don't know. You guys think this is the moment of truth? Are we going to see 60K Bitcoin before the next live stream on Monday? Now, this Saturday, it is possible that I will finally get around to Crypto Story Hour by playing GTA 5 with the sound off, and we talk about cryptocurrency market events. But I'm not going to make any promises. It's been very difficult to carve out time on Saturdays. But on Monday, we will definitely live stream again at the same time, and then same with Wednesday. Do you think we're going to punch through this level? Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think this channel will be maintained upward and we will punch through the $60,000 level before Monday? Do you think we could actually see pricing that reflects closely what we saw previously at the all-time high? Could we get all the way back up here? Will it result in another head and shoulders and then retracement or correction down before it goes parabolic again? Yeah, guys, tell me in the chat. Gallo says, I hope not. I need to accumulate more. I'm with you, right? Who doesn't want more Bitcoin right now? But yeah. Sandor is saying we need a healthy retracement. I don't know what we need. That's the funny thing. I don't know. I don't know what we need. We've got really weird manipulation of other markets. We've got really weird inflation creeping in. The US government has been warning people that the price to heat their homes will go up by 20% this winter, which has me worried. My wife asked me to bring all miners, anything that we actually have at home, inside the house instead of mining, outside or mining in a warehouse or someplace. She asked me to bring all that in so that we don't spend a cent more than we have to on using gas heating. But while it's profitable to mine, she wants me to heat the house as much as possible with miners because of that stupid warning shot by the US federal government, warning us that our money would be inflated to that extent, that it would cost us 20% more just to keep from freezing in our own homes. Figure that one out. So Tessa and Jaffer is saying BTC on the weekly charts, it broke off on a downward trend. All right, let's get off our 2-hour chart here then. And let's go to, let's zoom out a bit. Start with 4-hour. Yep. And there. And yeah, go to weekly. Rob is saying retest would be good, but Evergrande feels like a reset. Oof. Wow. Zooming way out those ranges, we feel a lot, we look a lot more charmed, don't we? Where it's like zoom out and it's like, wow, we're living in this parabolic state. Like, what could go wrong? I don't know. Jeez. Like this, imagine if this were a double blow off top. Would that actually, like if we were zooming out to a week, what if this were a double blow off top, similar to what we had back here in 2017, right? So then again, I guess in the 1 week chart, 2017 looks a lot more calm. Yeah, on the 1 week. And didn't match that at all. So imagine if we're more closer to this movement here, right? So about 25% into the parabolic run, into the parabola up to the all-time high. That would be dope, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? Be pretty darn snazzy. But yeah, looking at that channel again, zooming out, I appreciate that suggestion there. Jensen saying turn on log. Hey, good. Another great suggestion there. Yeah, I'm on. It says auto. Throw it on the logarithmic. It definitely looks less weird. And yeah, logarithmic mode is easier to navigate too. Thank you for that. But yeah, it still kind of looks like that channel holds if we do the 1 week. So I'm going to leave the chopsticks where they are for right now. If anything, I'm going to extend that one. Oof, why is it snapping? That's weird. Oh yeah, that's weird. Maybe I had snapping turned on, but yeah. Maybe if we can maintain it. John Ross is saying Bitcoin isn't going parabolic. USD is tanking. And Jimmy is saying, I vote no. Supply chain issues, stock market, Evergrande, White House regulations, Tether, etc., etc. Hey, who am I to disagree? I think you guys are right. There are a lot of additional things we can take into consideration. I think a macro view is very sound, right? If we get too mired in like, well, I saw this particular formation. I saw a cup and handle right here. So that definitely means now we start the parabola. No way. You can't zoom in that close and be able to see what's going to happen in the broader market, right? So I think you guys are right to take a look at some of those other events, some of those other particularly like market-related influences. And yeah, I will take it on advisement. I'm going to leave those chopsticks right where they are, guys, and going to work on, with all that free time, I'm going to work on integrating some kind of a fib level system here. I appreciate that we zoomed all the way out to a week, the 1 week time frame. That is nice to see. It's probably more appropriate, frankly, for the kind of show that is run here. Either that or at least a day, right? Like just zooming out to a day, a 1 day view, because we only do this show a couple times a week during the week, and maybe we will start doing the weekends, but we won't be charting on the weekends. So, gosh, unless I started doing daily, guys, the market almost merits it right now. It almost does. We're almost at that point, almost. But I'd have to streamline the show so that we don't like go hard like 2 hours or whatever. But yeah, that would be an amazing trend to see maintained. But I agree with a lot of you. That does not seem realistic. It doesn't seem realistic that we will definitely maintain this trend. We could be seeing the reversal right now, as was mentioned before. So yeah. Walkthrough Guru says stock market decouple would be interesting to see. Yeah, for sure. And I guess I should probably have another chart up as well for us to, or some of the stock market, like the S&P 500 or something, for us to be able to do some proper comparative analysis there, like properly call it macro or whatever. But in the meantime, guys, definitely appreciate you being tuned in. I hope I got to as many questions as you had. If I missed any, I apologize for that. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. thank you for being here and thank you for being subscribed. If you were commenting, it's a sign that you were subscribed. So definitely appreciate that, guys. You are the reason that I make this media. Before I roll the outro, I'm going to roll the explosion. Appreciate you being here, being supportive. You're the reason I make this media, guys. Love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mineyourbiz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your face. Be sure to stay private and mind your biz.